The Power of Cheerful Thinking by Orison Swett Marden. Chapter from Every Man a King. Production by Sifu Myers, January 10, 2025. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope. Helen Keller. The men whom I have seen succeed best in life have always been cheerful and hopeful men, who went about their business with a smile on their faces, and took the changes and chances of this mortal life like men, facing rough and smooth alike as it came. Charles Kingsley. The cheerful man has a creative power which the pessimist never possesses. There is nothing which will so completely sweeten life and take out its drudgery, nothing that will so effectively ease the jolts on the road, as a sunny, hopeful, optimistic disposition. With the same mental ability, the cheerful thinker has infinitely more power than the despondent, gloomy thinker. Cheerfulness is a perpetual lubricator of the mind. It is the oil of gladness which dispels friction, worries, anxieties, and disagreeable experiences. The life machinery of a cheerful man does not wear out or grind away as rapidly as that of one whose moods and temper scour and wear the delicate bearings and throw the entire machinery out of harmony. In the maintenance of health and the cure of disease, cheerfulness is a most important factor, says Dr. A.J. Sanderson. Its power to do good like a medicine is not an artificial stimulation of the tissues, to be followed by reaction and greater waste, as is the case with many drugs. But the effect of cheerfulness is an actual life-giving influence through a normal channel, the results of which reach every part of the system. It brightens the eye, makes ruddy the countenance, brings elasticity to the step, and promotes all the inner forces by which life is sustained. The blood circulates more freely, the oxygen comes to its home in the tissues, health is promoted, and disease is banished. A farmer in Alabama 8 or 10 years ago, subject to lung trouble, had a hemorrhage while plowing one day, and lost so much blood that he was told by his physician that he would die. He merely said that he was not ready to die yet, and lingered for a long time, unable to get up. He gained strength, and finally could sit up, and then he began to laugh at anything and everything. He persisted in his hilarity, even when well people could see nothing to laugh at, and gained constantly. He became robust and strong. He says he is sure that if he had not laughed continually, he would have died. A great many people have brought sick, discordant bodies back into harmony by the laugh cure, by substituting cheerfulness for fretting, worrying, and complaining. Every time one complains or finds fault, he is only acknowledging the power of his enemies to hold him down, to make his life uncomfortable and disagreeable. The way to get rid of these enemies of happiness is to deny their existence, to drive them out of the mind, for they are only delusions. Harmony, health, beauty, success, these are the realities. Their opposites are only the absence of the real. I try as much as I can, said a great philosopher, to let nothing distress me, and to take everything that happens as for the best. I believe that this is a duty, and that we sin in not so doing. Similarly, Sir John Lubbock has said, I cannot, however, but think that the world would be better and brighter if our teachers would dwell on the duty and happiness, as well as on the happiness and duty, for we ought to be as cheerful as we can, if only because to be happy ourselves is the most effectual contribution to the happiness of others. Nothing makes for one's own health and happiness so much as a serene mind. When the mind is self-poised and serene, every faculty and function falls into line and works normally. There is equilibrium and health everywhere in the body. The serene mind can accomplish infinitely more than the disturbed and discordant. A serene intentness will always prevail, though bluster and bustle will often fail. The work turned out by a calm, balanced mind is healthy and strong. There is a vigor and naturalness about it which is not found in that done by a one-sided man, a mind out of balance. Serenity never dwells with discontent, with anxiety, with over-ambition. It never lives with the guilty, but dwells only with a clear conscience. It is never found apart from honesty and square dealing, or with the idle or the vicious. The sunny man attracts business success. Everybody likes to deal with agreeable, cheerful people. We instinctively shrink from a crabbed, cross, contemptible character, no matter how able he may be. We would rather do a little less business, or pay a little more for our goods, and deal with an optimist. The great business world of today is too serious, too dead in earnest. Life in America is the most strenuous ever experienced in the history of the world. There is a perpetual need of relief from this great tension, and a sunny, cheerful, gracious soul is like an ocean breeze in sultry August, like the coming of a vacation. We welcome it because it gives us at least temporary relief from the strenuous strain. Country storekeepers look forward for months to the visits of jolly, breezy traveling men, and their wholesale houses profit by their good nature. Cheerful-faced and pleasant-voiced clerks can sell more goods and attract more customers than saucy, snappy, disagreeable ones. Promoters, organizers of great enterprises must make a business of being agreeable, of harmonizing hostile interests, of winning men's good opinion. Newspaper men, likewise, depend on making friends to gain entree, to get interviews, to discover facts, and to find news. All doors fly open to the sunny man, and he is invited to enter when the disagreeable, sarcastic, gloomy man has to break open the door to force his way in. Many another business is founded on courtesy, cheerfulness, and good humor. Employees can often make their situations easier, get more salary, and win promotion by always being cheerful and bright, besides having a pleasant, happy time themselves. Emery Bell tells how this worked in her own case. I started out to my work one morning, determined to try the power of cheerful thinking. I had been moody long enough. I said to myself, I have often observed that a happy state of mind has a wonderful effect upon my physical makeup, so I will try its effect upon others and see if my right thinking can be brought to act upon them. You see, I was curious. As I walked along, more and more resolved on my purpose, and persisting that I was happy, that the world was treating me well, I was surprised to find myself lifted up, as it were. My carriage became more erect, my step lighter, and I had the sensation of treading on air. Unconsciously, I was smiling, for I caught myself in the act once or twice. I looked into the faces of the women I passed, and there saw so much trouble and anxiety, discontent, even to peevishness, that my heart went out to them, and I wished I could impart to them a wee bit of the sunshine I felt pervading me. Arriving at the office, I greeted the bookkeeper with some passing remark that for the life of me I could not have made under different conditions. I am not naturally witty. It immediately put us on a pleasant footing for the day. She had caught the reflection. The president of the company I was employed by was a very busy man, and much worried over his affairs, and at some remark that he made about my work, I would ordinarily have felt quite hurt, being too sensitive by nature and education. But this day, I had determined nothing should mar its brightness, so replied to him cheerfully. His brow cleared, and there was another pleasant footing established, and so, throughout the day, I went, allowing no cloud to spoil its beauty for me or others about me. At the kind home where I was staying, the same course was pursued, and, where before I had felt estrangement and want of sympathy, I found congeniality and warm friendship. People will meet you halfway if you will take the trouble to go that far. So, my sisters, if you think the world is not treating you kindly, don't delay a day, but say to yourselves, I am going to keep young in spite of the grey hairs. Even if things do not always come my way, I am going to live for others and shed sunshine across the pathway of all I meet. You will find happiness springing up like flowers around you, will never want for friends or companionship, and above all, the peace of God will rest upon your soul. The world is too full of sadness and sorrow, misery and sickness. It needs more sunshine. It needs cheerful lives which radiate gladness. It needs encouragers who shall lift and not bear down, who shall encourage, not discourage. Who can estimate the value of the sunny soul, who scatters gladness and good cheer wherever he goes, instead of gloom and sadness? Everybody is attracted to these cheerful faces and sunny lives, and repelled by the gloomy, the morose, the sad. We envy people who radiate cheer wherever they go, who fling out gladness from every pore. Money, houses, lands look contemptible beside such a disposition. The ability to radiate sunshine is a greater power than beauty, than mere mental accomplishments. Oh, what riches live in a sunny soul! What a blessed heritage is a sunny nature, able to fling out sunshine wherever it goes, able to scatter the shadows and to lighten sorrow-laden hearts, having power to send cheer into despairing souls. And if, haply, this heritage is combined with a superb manner and exquisite personality, no money wealth can compare with its value. This blessing is not difficult of acquisition, for a sunny face is but a reflection of a warm, generous heart. The sunshine does not appear first upon the face, but in the soul. The glad smile that makes the face radiant is but a glimpse of the soul's sunshine. By taking a large-hearted interest in everyone we meet, by trying to pierce through the mask of the outer man or woman to the inmost core, and by cultivating kindly feelings toward all, it is possible to acquire this inestimable gift. It is really only the development of our own finest qualities that enables us to understand and draw out what is fine and noble in others. Nothing will pay one better than the acquisition of the power make others feel at ease, happy, and satisfied with themselves. Sunny people dispel melancholy, gloom, worry, and anxiety from all those with whom they come in contact, just as the sun drives away darkness. When they enter a room full of people, where the conversation has been lagging, and where everybody seems bored, they transform the surroundings like the sun bursting through thick black clouds after a storm. Everybody takes on a joyous spirit from the glad soul just entered, tongues are untied, conversation which dragged becomes bright and spirited, and the whole atmosphere vibrates with gladness and good cheer. There is nothing which you could put into your life, except service to others, which would pay you so well as the cultivation of sunshine in your business or profession, and in your social relations. Business will come to you instead of having to be sought. Friends will seek you. Society open wide its doors to you. A cheerful disposition is a fund of ready a capital, a magnet for the good things of life. Force yourself, if necessary, to form the habit of seeing the best in people, of finding out their good qualities, and dwelling upon them and enlarging them. Do not see the distorted, crooked, cramped burlesque of a man, but the man that God made. Ruskin says, "Do not think of your faults, still less of others' faults. In every person who comes near you, look for what is good and strong. Honor that, rejoice in it, and as you can, try to imitate it, and your faults will drop off like dead leaves when their time comes. If you make up your mind firmly that you will never again speak unkindly of anyone, that if you cannot find anything good in them, if you cannot see the best side, you will see nothing and say nothing, it will make a wonderful difference in life for you. You will be surprised to see how soon everything will respond with a message of joy and peace. If you always look on the sunny side of every incident, you will find that there is really very little trouble in the world for you, and even that little can be turned to goodness. Your vinegary countenance and cynical remarks will be cast off as an ugly mask which has been hiding your real, wholesome, happy self, and all the blessings of human experience will be yours. Catch the sunshine. Don't be grieving o'er that darksome billow there. Life's a sea of stormy billows. We must meet them everywhere. Pass right through them. Do not tarry. Overcome the heaving tide. There's a sparkling gleam of sunshine waiting on the other side. Talk happiness. The world is sad enough without your woe. No path is wholly rough. Look for the places that are smooth and clear, and speak of them to rest the weary ear of earth, so hurt by one continuous strain of mortal discontent and grief and pain. Ella Wheeler Wilcox,